All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Valsa Williams and with me is Sunil Verma. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India stands at the forefront of vaccine development for coronavirus. COVID-19 positivity rate in the country remains below 8% for the fourth consecutive day. India's agricultural exports rise by 14.8% during first 5 months of current fiscal. Australia to join Malabar Naval exercise with India, US and Japan. Early voting for US presidential election begins in crucial state of Florida. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals beat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets in Abu Dhabi. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India is now at the forefront of vaccine development for COVID-19. Mr. Modi said more than 30 indigenous vaccines are being developed in the country and 3 of them are in an advanced stage. The Prime Minister was delivering the virtual keynote address at the inaugural function of Grand Challenges annual meeting GCAM 2020 last evening. Mr. Modi said this digitized network, along with digital health ID, will be used to ensure immunization of the citizens.
India is now at the forefront of vaccine development for COVID. Some of them are in advanced stages. We are not stopping here. India is already working on putting a well-established vaccine delivery system in place. This digitized network, along with digital health ID, will be used to ensure immunization of our citizens. Friends, beyond COVID too, India is known for its proven capacity to produce quality medicines and vaccines at low cost. More than 60% of the vaccines of global immunization are being manufactured in India.
The Prime Minister said thanks to a people-powered and people-driven approach, India kept its COVID-19 death rate very low. The Prime Minister said today India is witnessing a decline in the number of cases per day and the growth rate of cases. He said India has one of the highest recovery rates of 88%.
India has one of the highest recovery rates of 88%. This happened because India was one of the first countries to adopt a flexible lockdown when the total cases were just a few hundred. India was one of the first to encourage the usage of masks. India actively began to work on effective contact tracing. India was one of the earliest to deploy the rapid antigen tests.
The Prime Minister said with India's experience and research talent, we will be at the center of global healthcare efforts and we want to help other nations enhance their capacities in these sectors. Mr. Modi said the future will be shaped by societies that invest in science and innovation. He said, but this cannot be done in a short-sighted manner, so therefore one has to invest in science and innovation well in advance to reap benefits at the right time. The Prime Minister said the journey to these innovations must be shaped by collaboration and public participation.
Such is the power of technology that a global pandemic did not keep us apart. This program has continued as per schedule. This shows the commitment of the Grand Challenges community. It shows a commitment to adapt and innovate.
Mr. Modi said science will never prosper in silos and the Grand Challenges program has understood this ethos well. He said India has a strong and vibrant scientific community and there are also good scientific institutions which have been India's greatest assets, especially during the last few months while fighting COVID-19. Mr. Modi said from containment to capacity building, they have achieved wonders. The Prime Minister stressed that the government is setting up more medical colleges, especially in rural areas, and it will ensure more opportunities for the youth and will bring better health care to the villages. Mr. Modi said the Government of India is running the world's largest health insurance scheme and ensuring access to everyone.
In the last 6 years, we have made many interventions which are contributing to a better healthcare system, such as sanitation, improved cleanliness, more toilet coverage. It helps the poor and underprivileged. It leads to a fall in disease. Now we are ensuring that each household gets piped drinking water. This will further ensure disease reduction. We are running the world's largest health insurance scheme and ensuring access to everyone.
The 3-day brainstorming program will feature leaders' talks, panel discussions, and virtual informal conversations on various topics.
India's cumulative COVID-19 positivity rate has remained below 8% for the fourth consecutive day yesterday. The Health Ministry said the country's cumulative positivity rate stands at 7.94% and is on a continuous decline. The ministry said the decline in the cumulative positivity rate has demonstrated that the rate of spread of infection is being effectively contained. It said, as evidence has revealed, higher numbers of testing on a sustained basis have aided in bringing down the positivity rate. The ministry said higher testing across wide regions leads to early identification of positive cases, prompt tracking through efficient surveillance and tracing, and timely and effective treatment in homes and hospitals for the severe cases. It said these measures in tandem eventually lead to lower mortality rates. The total number of tests for the detection of coronavirus infection has crossed 9.5 crores so far, according to the ministry. The trend of daily COVID-19 cases in the 5 most affected states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu reveal the various stages of decline of active cases in these states over the past 1 month. Maharashtra has reported a steep fall in daily cases, and in a time span of nearly 1 month, the numbers have reduced from around 22,000 daily cases to merely 9,000. In Andhra Pradesh, the numbers have fallen from around 9,500 daily reported cases a month ago to nearly 3,900 cases as on today. The Health Ministry has said that these trends also mirror the steady decrease in active cases in the country, with the caseload being sustained below 8 lakhs for 4 days in a row.
In Tamil Nadu, the active COVID-19 caseload has gone down to a new low at just above 38,000 yesterday. In another milestone, the new infections in Chennai also have dropped below the 1,000 mark. Here is a report.
The active caseload of COVID patients in Tamil Nadu reached its peak on July 31st with 57,968 cases. Since then, the state had fluctuations below that level, despite the slew of relaxations and increased testing. Yesterday, it has retraced to a level below July 1st with 38,093 patients. The new cases in Chennai has come down to 885 yesterday. This is the first time in 26 days the fresh cases dropped below 1,000 in the state capital. The recovery rate has improved to 93.94% yesterday. The total number of RT-PCR tests is fast approaching the 1 crore mark, while the total infections have reached nearly 6,91,000. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
In Karnataka, COVID recovery cases exceed new cases. In a day, 8,005 people recovered and 5,018 new COVID-19 cases were reported yesterday. Our correspondent reports at present the positivity rate in the state is 8%.
Karnataka Health and Medical Education Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar yesterday said that Bengaluru city has seen a 73% rise in COVID-19 testing capacity and also a reduction in mortality rate. He said the current mortality rate in Karnataka is 1.37% and the target is reduced to below 1%. The minister said the rise in the number of cases is due to the increase in testing. A total of over 67,46,358 samples have been tested so far in the state, out of which 78,581 were tested yesterday. Dr. K. Sudhakar said several complaints of middlemen blocking beds in private hospitals and trying to exploit people have been received. He said stringent action would be taken against such miscreants. The minister also requested cooperation from the people to control the spread of COVID-19 during Dasara. R. Murthy, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Bihar, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 94.47%. This is 6.21% more than the national average. 912 patients recovered during the past 24 hours. The number of active cases is continuously declining. Gujarat recorded 996 new corona cases during the past 24 hours, dropping below the 1,000 mark in the last 3 months. The recovery rate has improved to 88.85%. Our correspondent reports 1,147 patients recovered during the last 24 hours.
The centre has appreciated the COVID-19 management by the Gujarat government. In a meeting through video conferencing yesterday, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said Gujarat has shown remarkable improvement in recoveries and testing. He said that the active cases in the state dropped significantly and more than 99% patients are in stable conditions. Deputy Chief Minister of Gujarat, looking after the Health Ministry, Nitin Patel said that the state government is committed to save lives along with livelihood as the power utilization by industries reached pre-COVID level and GST collections also surged. District collectors of Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, Rajkot, Vadodara and Surat also participated in the deliberations where maximum cases have been recorded. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Madhya Pradesh, a fine of 500 rupees will be imposed for spitting in the railway premises. West Central Railway has taken this step to prevent corona infection. It has been started from Bhopal division. A report.
Bhopal DRM Uday Vorvankar told AIR that the railway passengers were only being advised till date, but now they have decided to take strict action.
अभी तक तो हम लोग केवल रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे थे, बट अब हम इसे फाइन इम्पोज करने वाले हैं और उसको सख्ती से हम लोग पालन करेंगे, क्योंकि लोगों को समझा के हम लोग थक गए. कैमरे भी लगे हुए हैं हमारे पूरे स्टेशन परिसर में.
Automated machine have also been installed to measure the temperature at all railway stations, including Bhopal. These machines also identify the passengers who are not wearing masks. They also alert the staff by sounding the alarm. Awareness jingles are also being continuously played by the railways, in which information is being given to apply mask, wash hands properly and maintain a safe distance. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In West Bengal, all Durga Puja pandals have virtually been declared no-entry zones yesterday by the Calcutta High Court. The court ordered a ban on pandal hopping due to the spread of the coronavirus. The order from the High Court said only organizers can enter the pandals and names of people allowed to enter have to be displayed outside it.
Minister of Minority Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has said that Hajj 2021 will depend on national international protocol guidelines due to the pandemic position. Chairing Hajj 2021 review meeting in New Delhi, Mr. Naqvi said Indian Hajj Committee and other agencies will formally announce Hajj 2021 application process and other related preparations after a decision is taken by the Saudi Arabia government on it. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Tanmay Talukdar of Lady Hardinge Medical College, New Delhi, has said that smoking is very dangerous as COVID-19 is spreading continuously. He urged people to take the safe side and raise voices against smoking.
स्मोक करने वाले के अंदर अगर कोरोना के वायरस हैं, तो अगर वो बात करते हैं या धुआं छोड़ते हैं या स्मोकर्स में कफ ज्यादा होता है, वो खांसते भी ज्यादा हैं आमतौर पे, ऐसे मरीज भी नहीं, उन्हें तो खुद भी नहीं पता होगा कि वो कोरोना के वायरस कैरी कर रहे हैं. तो ऐसे व्यक्ति जो वातावरण में कीटाणु छोड़ेंगे और उनके साथ अगर कोई नॉन स्मोकर भी खड़ा है, तंबाकू का सेवन नहीं करता, धूम्रपान नहीं करता, उनको भी खतरा बढ़ जाता है. इसलिए इट्स टाइम टू से नो टू स्मोकिंग. आपके आसपास भी कोई स्मोक कर रहा है तो हम आवाज उठाएं, बोले जी नहीं, आप बीड़ी या सिगरेट बंद करें.
Cricketer Suresh Raina has appealed to people to follow all COVID-related precautions to stay safe from coronavirus.
मेरी तरफ से सभी उन लोगों को एक हिदायत है कि प्लीज वेयर अ मास्क, मेंटेन द सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, बी वाइज, बी सेल्फिश, आई वुड से, एट द सेम टाइम बी वेरी वेरी पॉजिटिव, बिकॉज वर्क हार्ड, ट्राई टू डू लॉट ऑफ योगा, डू रनिंग. आप कोशिश करिए कि फैमिली के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करें. घर वापस आए तो आप सेफ रहें.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India stands at the forefront of vaccine development for coronavirus. COVID-19 positivity rate in the country remains below 8% for the fourth consecutive day. India's agricultural exports rise by 14.8% during first 5 months of current fiscal. Australia to join Malabar naval exercise with India, the US and Japan. Early voting for US presidential election begins in crucial state of Florida. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals beat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets in Abu Dhabi. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
India's agricultural exports have recovered from a pandemic-induced decline. Exports of major farm products stood at 53,000 crore rupees in the 5-month period between April and August 2020-21, a rise of 14.8% compared to the corresponding period last year. During the April to August period, farmers gained from higher exports of rice, wheat and sugar. Exports of basmati rice, a big-ticket export item among cereals, during April to August rose 8.2% from the year-ago period, while the value of non-basmati rice exports grew 91.3%. The centre has said paddy procurement for Kharif marketing season 2020-21 is going on smoothly in the procuring states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, Chandigarh, Jammu and Kashmir and Kerala. Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution said over 90 lakh metric tons of paddy have been procured from 7.82 lakh farmers so far.
In Bihar, today is the last date for filing of nominations for the third and final phase of assembly elections. 78 assembly seats spread over 15 districts will go to polls in this phase on the 7th of November. 337 candidates have so far filed their nominations for this phase. 3 candidates have filed nominations for by-polls to Valmiki Nagar Lok Sabha seat. By-polls to the seat will be held along with the final phase of assembly elections in the state. Meanwhile, political parties have intensified their campaign for the first phase of assembly elections. 71 seats spread over 16 districts will go to the polls in the first phase on October the 28th. In Madhya Pradesh, 355 candidates have been left in the fray for 28 assembly seats after withdrawal of nominations. On the last day of withdrawal of nominations, 35 candidates withdrew their names yesterday. Voting for the by-polls to 28 seats will be held on 3rd of November and counting will be taken up on 10th of November.
In Ladakh, polling staff and security personnel deployed in remote areas for General Council election of Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council LAHDC have started moving from Leh to their polling booths. Polling parties of 10 constituencies, 5 each in Nobra and Changthang, have left this morning and 15 other constituencies will leave for their respective polling booths tomorrow. Our correspondent has filed this report.
The election authority has arranged 2 helicopter sorties to airlift the polling parties and the polling materials for 2 polling booths located at most remote areas of Lingshet constituency. Airlifting is scheduled for today. For the smooth conduct of election, 294 polling booths have set up across all the 26 council territory constituencies. 15 of them have been identified as hypersensitive, while 45 as sensitive polling booths. The election campaign ends today by 4 in the evening. With Ramesh Chandra, Youngson Dolma of Air News, Leh Ladakh.
The Enforcement Directorate ED has questioned National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah in connection with Jammu and Kashmir Cricket Association JKCA scam. 10 office bearers of the JKCA, including Mr. Abdullah, are accused of turning the sports body into a lending agency and operating several bogus accounts between 2005 and 2012 when the scam was unearthed.
The Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, will virtually lay the foundation stone for the first ever multi-modal logistic park of the country in Assam today. The event will be presided over by the Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal and will be attended by Union Ministers Dr. Jitendra Singh, General B.K. Singh and Rameshwar Teli and several ministers of Assam. More from our correspondent.
The 694 crore rupees multimodal logistic park at Bongaigaon district will provide direct connectivity to air, road, rail and waterways to the people of Assam. It will be developed under the Bharatmala Pariyojana of the center. The fund for the multimodal logistic park would be spent in three components: road and railway connectivity as well as building and infrastructure work. An MOU will also be signed to implement the ambitious project. Manas Pratim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
The Minister for Development of Northeastern Regions, donor Dr. Jitendra Singh, has invited the British government and the private sector for exploiting huge business potential in the northeastern region of India. In a virtual meeting with officials of British High Commission, Dr. Singh said, India and the UK, the two vibrant democracies, enjoy a mutually rewarding business relationship and can work together in exploring and exploiting new opportunities in the northeastern region.
Uttar Pradesh has become number one in the country in terms of attracting domestic tourists. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said his government is providing all facilities to the tourists and the state is making its special identity in the world because of its various tourist attraction centers. We have a report.
According to the Indian Tourist Statistics 2020, a total of more than 53 crore domestic tourists visited the state in 2019 with a share of 23.1% travelers visiting the country. The state bagged the third spot in terms of the arrival of foreign tourists. Around 47 lakh foreign tourists visited Uttar Pradesh in the same year with 15% share of the total foreign tourist arrival in the country. Chief Minister Office said that several areas like Ramayan Circuit, Bridge Circuit, Mahabharat Circuit, Buddh Circuit have been identified for upgradation on the Chief Minister's instruction. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. Australia will join the Malabar naval exercise involving India, the US and Japan. Australian Defence Minister Linda Reynolds said the Malabar Drill is a milestone opportunity for the Australian Defence Force. She said the exercise showcases the deep trust between four major Indo-Pacific democracies and their shared will to work together on common security interests. The annual naval exercise Malabar 2020 is expected to be held in the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea later this year. This year, the exercise has been planned on a non-contact at sea format. The exercise will strengthen the coordination between the navies of the participating countries. The Defence Ministry said as India seeks to increase cooperation with other countries in the maritime security domain and in the light of increased defence cooperation with Australia, Malabar 2020 will see the participation of the Australian Navy. The participants of exercise Malabar 2020 are engaging to enhance safety and security in the maritime domain.
Early voting for the November 3rd presidential election has begun in the crucial battleground state of Florida as a record 28 million Americans have already cast ballots with barely 2 weeks remaining in the campaign. Florida is widely seen as a must-win for President Donald Trump, whose path to victory becomes razor-thin if he loses the southern state. Meanwhile, Joe Biden and Trump would be debating for a final time on Thursday in Nashville, Tennessee. Japan hailed an agreement in principle to supply Vietnam with military gear and technology as the two governments pledged to strengthen security and economic ties amid mounting concerns about China's assertiveness in the region. Addressing the media after the meeting, Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga called the agreement a big step in the field of security for both countries.
In IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals beat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets in Abu Dhabi last night. Rajasthan achieved the target of 126 runs with 15 balls left. Rajasthan made 126 for the loss of 3 wickets in 17.3 overs. For Rajasthan, Joss Butler was the highest scorer with 70 not out of 48 balls. Earlier, electing to bat, Chennai Super Kings scored 125 for 5 in their stipulated 20 overs. In today's encounter, Kings 11 Punjab will take on Delhi Capitals in Dubai. Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Kiran Rijiju met the members of the Indian judo team at his residence yesterday ahead of their departure to Hungary for the Budapest Grand Slam, which contributes to the Olympic qualification to be held between October the 23rd and October the 25th. The contingent comprises of 5 judokas and coach Jeevan Sharma.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The temperature in the national capital Delhi will hover between 16 and 35 degrees Celsius. It will have mainly clear sky. In Mumbai, there will be generally cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder or lightning. The minimum temperature will be 27 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 32 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 26 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. The minimum and maximum temperatures in the metropolis will be 26 degrees and 33 degrees.
On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 16 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 33 degrees. The city will have a mainly clear sky. Srinagar and Ladakh will also have mainly clear sky. Temperature in Srinagar will hover between 4 and 25 degrees Celsius. In Ladakh, minimum temperature will be minus 5 degrees Celsius. Maximum will be around 21 degrees with mainly clear sky. Gilgit will experience mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 5 and 27 degrees. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature will be 12 and the maximum will be around 31 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Eye on China. Oz 2, part of Malabar Drill, is the lead in the Pioneer. Signal to China. Quad navies to sail together. Indo-US pact on table, headlines the Indian Express. Keep off India's affairs, Reddy tells China, Park. The Hindu quotes Union Minister for Form G.K. Reddy, who is touring Ladakh's Leh district. The Indian Express reports new digital health ID will be used in COVID immunization, says PM. Finance Minister hints at one more stimulus, notes the Hindu Business Line. Changes being made in all sectors to ensure growth, the Asian Age quotes PM Modi. And finally, Hindustan Times leads with COVID curbs hit Durga Puja in Bengal and capital on one of India's grandest festivals being downsized due to fears of COVID-19 transmission. High Court orders no entry at all Durga Pujas in Bengal, writes the Asian Age.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India stands at the forefront of vaccine development for coronavirus. COVID-19 positivity rate in the country remains below 8% for the fourth consecutive day. India's agricultural exports rise by 14.8% during first 5 months of current fiscal. Australia to join Malabar naval exercise with India, US and Japan. Early voting for US presidential election begins in crucial state of Florida. And in IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals beat Chennai Super Kings by 7 wickets in Abu Dhabi. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.